Blue Beetle is the latest superhero blockbuster from DC Comics, which is set to hit cinemas on the 18th of August. I had the pleasure of watching it a few weeks ago thanks to Warner Bros. UK, and here is my non-spoiler review. Whilst the film itself feels unconventional, which is not a judgment in the slightest, Blue Beetle is a thoroughly enjoyable experience filled with laughs, culture and excellent action. The film follows young Jaime Reyes as he returns home after graduating college. In a bid to find employment to help his family, he finds himself in possession of the Scarab, an ancient piece of technology which chooses Jaime to be his host. The Scarab grants him access to extraordinary powers and technology which essentially forces him to become a superhero, Blue Beetle. The story itself is solid. It isn't groundbreaking, but it does make for an enjoyable experience and also touches upon real-world issues that really works in favour of this character. There are extremely strong family themes, which was great to see, and it really added an emotional drive to the film for viewers and also the characters involved. In this case, it isn't just one hero that can save the day, it's the entire family and the people that surround them that make it possible, and that is incredibly inspiring. There is both a villain and an anti-villain in this film. One, a usual business owner hungry for power. The second adds a really compelling twist to a rather terrifying character. The visual effects are excellent throughout, specifically during the suit-up moments and that first flight. The same can be said for the fight choreography too. Every sequence was immensely exciting and had me in awe. This film really gave Cholo Maridueña a chance to flex his martial arts abilities. There are tons of video game and anime and comic book influences peppered throughout the film too, especially during those fight sequences. The soundtrack has a great mix to it. The moments where the original score kick in are electrifying and it really adds to the excitement of those moments. The rest of the music, which again adds a lot of atmosphere and feeling to the film, is heavily inspired by Latino culture, which of course works perfectly for this film. Speaking of Cholo, the role could not have been casted any better. He is Jaime Reyes, he is Blue Beetle, and he absolutely nailed every aspect of this character, the humour and the personality. The entire cast, in fact, were perfect for their roles too. A particular highlight for me was George Lopez as Uncle Rudy. His character had me in stitches throughout this film, but also was able to add a lot of emotion to it. Also, watch out for Nana. She's a hidden gem and I need to know more about her immediately. There are plenty of other references to DC characters and lore too. Blue Beetle really goes a long way to establish the fact that the DC universe already exists, which is intriguing as James Gunn recently announced that the film exists within his newly revamped universe. With the character not being one of the biggest hitters of the DC universe, I am so glad that this film exists. It acts as a great introduction to the character, whether you know the comics or not, and I really hope it draws in new audiences for the character, specifically with this version being Jaime Reyes. Blue Beetle is a surprisingly emotional yet hilarious and exhilarating superhero blockbuster like no other. It's filled to the brim with heart, and it's safe to say that everyone involved has created a perfect celebration of Latino culture. Blue Beetle hits cinemas on the 18th of August, and be sure to stay seated. There is both a mid and post-credit scene.